In 1975, I met a Rolfing practitioner, and I received the Rolfing 10-session series from her, and it completely transformed my posture. If I could demonstrate it, I used to look like this. And it is a great pleasure to be in this body. It's not painful. It's easy to support myself. I don't have to work at my daily movements. They're much more fluid.
Well, I've been involved with the osteopathic profession for over 20 years and have been very interested in what the mechanisms of action are of different forms of manipulation and manual therapy. And Rolfing is a very interesting form of therapy to me because of its emphasis on the myofascia.
Currently, do you have a pain of some sort?
I have some pain in my legs.
Okay.
That I've told Debbie about.
So should we start a session?
Sure.
Great.
So Patrick has told me that he rows and that he has a lot of tightness in his hamstring. So one way that we have to work with that, and one way I think about it, is that the fascial connection goes from the hamstrings to the ischial tuberosity by way of the sacrotuberous ligament. It blends in with the sacral fascia up all the way into the back and neck. So we can track a strain or a pull all the way through the system. So when I'm working on hamstrings, I'm thinking also in trying to feel also what is happening in the rest of the system. And sometimes people will feel that as well in their own body. So I'm going to do a little test. Patrick is pretty flexible. Probably stretches a lot. Okay, so put your hands on your knee here for support and just put a gentle traction toward you. I'm going to work a little down this way. And let me know if anything I'm doing it feels like too much at one time. You have to be a little careful here because it can be really tender. And if you don't move too quickly on fascia, it will stretch without being painful. So let's have you, yeah, that's better. Does that feel a little looser to you? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get the other side. Okay, let's bring this way. I'm going to start a little at the top here. I'm using not my elbow, but the broad part of my forearm. It gives a broader contact with that. When you're thinking broad and thinking through layers, it gives you that broader contact, whereas a sharper contact is A, more painful, and B, less effective. Tender. Breathing. That's great. A little tighter on this side, feels like. Let me switch the other direction, it might be easier. And just gently traction that knee toward you just a little. That's it.
One is the older of the two hips. This one's about 10 months older than this one is.
Did you have a hip replacement?
I have 2 hip replacements.
Oh, okay. You're doing great. Good flexibility. Yeah. Hold here. Looks like you've had knee surgery and. Yeah. Tender.
Got it like that first time.
Yeah, it's pretty dense right there. Now let's see how this does. You know, it's still a little tight on the inside hamstring. You feeling that?
Oh, yeah.
So put your hands here. And I could feel that when I moved Patrick's. I think I'm going to just use a little. It's okay here? Yeah, it's right along that line there. Mm-hmm. You can feel where the fascia gets denser and tighter. And again, if you're not too fast with it, it will stretch without being nearly as uncomfortable. Okay, let's see. That's better now. So Patrick reports feeling looser in his hamstrings, and so I want to know, Patrick, how is that feeling up? Because sometimes when one part lets go, the other part will feel tighter. How's your neck and your back feel?
Neck feels okay.
It's okay. All right. So when I'm going to work on someone, I get a complete medical history, and I ask them for any accidents, injuries, major illnesses they've had, if they have any stress going on in their life right now. And that helps me to understand the history of the fascia, because injuries show up in the fascia. Old injuries, they don't go away. The fascia actually changes to compensate for imbalances in your body. Okay, so if you have an injury, say you sprained your right ankle, you're going to lean to your left as you walk for quite a while. And in the process, the fascia gets denser on that side. So even when you come back to the right side, it's not going to completely even out. So what we do is try to make that balance and function more even.